You're doing well this evening. It's Fred and Sheila with Hatfield, McCoy, Museum Adventures, and Fred and Sheila Investigates.
Hey. Guys, we're going to do another one on Buford Pusser. The last one you probably seen should have been the last one. That was our plan.
Yep.
But plans change, and we've decided to continue on this journey for a little while. There's plenty of material and corrections to make. Guys, if we make a correction or we say something wrong or we are incorrect, please correct us. Sheila and I doesn't mind being corrected. You know, what is that word? Opines?
Opines, yeah.
Opines, everybody's got one. Opinions. And if it's your opinion and you disagree, that's one thing. But if we've made a mistake, please correct us. We want to be right.
Mm-hmm.
Don't correct us with something that somebody has told you that you heard on another video, another channel, and they've told you something, they've spoken it in the history, and you're thinking, well, it must be true, when we're sitting there showing you proof that it's not true, because you're not going to convince us. Truth with proof.
Yep.
Is what we want. Guys, this is going to be an interesting video. It's going to be the most enlightening video that we've shown. This is going to be the best video. This is going to be the most informative. And then I run up on something else that somebody says, and I think, wow, where do they get this? I'm not going to comment. I'm just going to play the video. You're probably not going to like. I was going to let the video just play through. The video itself the snippet we got is only 6 minutes. It's only 6 minutes. Now, he's got a whole video there, but I just couldn't watch the rest of it. It was all I could do to watch this. This is going to make a good video. This is going to prove our point to the TBI, to the ATF, to the FBI. Somebody has to act on what we're getting ready to show you. Somebody has to act. Because if they don't act, it's like Sebastian and Summer going to the side.
Yeah.
It's all these things. We're going after Buford Pusser from 58 years ago, but we can't charge somebody with a crime that has happened in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I think Summer was in 2021. So.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the gun itself.
Oh, okay.
The gun. The gun happened 60 years ago. The stolen gun. But as far as Mike Elam, and we'll get to his name here in a minute if we're correct.
Okay.
Guys, we have a disclaimer at the back of our video. Everything we do is for entertainment. Not everything, but a lot of stuff we do is speculation, opinion, alleging. Let's throw that out there.
Alleged, yeah.
And I'll also say we ain't got a pot to pee in or a window to throw it out. So, again, if we say something wrong, we don't correct it, and you can prove us wrong, then by all means,
please
sue.
Do.
If you want to sue, you can sue anyway, but expect to be countersued. We don't have nothing, so whatever we get in a countersuit would be an improvement for us. Now, we would much rather act like adults. Go ahead and, if you want to put your videos out and you want to convince people, I was reading today where 909 people died. 909 people drank Jim Jones's Kool-Aid.
Oh, my.
There was 80 people, I think 9 children that didn't die. But out of all those people, 909 people drank that Kool-Aid. The tape, you can listen to Jim Jones on YouTube. Listen to the man. Tell him we'd rather be dead. We're going to go through what we're going to go through. Oh, yeah. And they're clapping and singing songs. And this man convinces this congregation, drink up, children. We're having a revival. You guys drink that Kool-Aid if you want. We're going to show you evidence. We're going to show you evidence. Now, you can believe what somebody speaks in the history, and I'll point it out as we go along, or you can look at the evidence. What are you grinning about?
You said you're just going to point it out as you go along.
We are.
You are.
We're going to point it out. Sheila and I work hard on this. I know some of you think that, oh, it just shows up. It just can. Sheila and I spend hours and hours and hours
Law.
bouncing off each other. What about this? What about that? And that's what investigators do. That's what you guys do. Guys, some of y'all put comments. Somebody put one on there a while ago, and I read it, and I thought, I do it all the time. I read y'all's comments all the time, and I think, daggone, that was such a smart. I wish I remembered the one from a while ago when I bragged on who it was. I said, great comment. That was out of the box thinking or something, because it was. Play the video. This is on the stolen gun. This is Mike Elam himself. He's given a presentation on the stolen gun. I'm going to stop this clip every other word, probably. Don't get aggravated, because there's a point I'm going to make as we go along. So just bear with me. Look at the evidence. See if what we're telling you is incorrect or makes sense. Yeah. Ready, bud.
All righty, here we go, guys. Now, you want this up first, yes, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here to discuss the most sought after piece of information thus far about the alleged ambush in which Pauline Pusser was killed. That being the gun. Now, I'll tell you up front, I can't be terribly candid about all of this, because the individual that...
Yeah, try to stop.
I thought you said get ready to stop. I'm sorry.
I said stop it.
Do you want me to take it back?
No, what he said there is the most important piece of evidence in Pauline's killing is the gun. The gun would be important if there was a bullet from that gun in Pauline's skull, and there was fingerprints, hair fiber, now DNA, blood, saliva, anything like that on that gun that connected that gun to Buford Pusser or whoever the shooter was. Now, so the gun, we still don't think is that important, because there were several guns there, several guns that were doing the shooting. We don't know that one particular gun is the one that's going to come back with any of them fragments in it. We know this wasn't, because Mr. Davis has already told us in a thing that we put in our last video. He says that it's inconclusive, but it's the same type gun, same caliber. Okay. We know it's 30 caliber and it's a rifle, M1, or at least a 30 caliber. You don't even know that it's an M1. We still think the most important piece of evidence was that car that they destroyed. That was the most important, because Mr. Davis is trying to pull this case together with blood splatter, the interior of the car, the bullet holes, ballistics, things. You can't pull it together without that car. So we disagree with him off the bat. The most important piece of evidence to us, because it's not going to come back with Buford Pusser's blood on it. Not going to come back with his DNA. It's not going to come back with his fingerprints. Buford Pusser did not shoot his wife. He didn't go to all this trouble to shoot his wife. We're going to prove that to you here in a minute, just like we do in every video on a different one or two items. You can say, hey, and there's one in here that's so huge that you're going to see that this, even though this gun is stolen and this man should be in jail, he should be facing prosecution right now. I'm looking at Mike Elam, because he knowingly knew where a stolen gun was at for a long time. And the other fella has known about it for years, decades maybe. They didn't say nothing about it. Them guys should be criminally charged and held accountable. But you're going to find out that that gun, we're going to prove it to you. We're going to prove to you that that gun, that stolen gun that they had possession of, that they went out and shot, is not the gun that was involved in Pauline's killing at all, no matter who did it.
Right.
That gun is not involved. See if we prove that or not. Let them play. Get ready to stop it.
Okay, just tell me when.
Had the gun and wanted to inquire about it, asked to remain anonymous, and of course he realizes that story is going to be in the files and his name is going to appear there, but
it's going to be in history, guys. His name's going to be in the files forever. He made history. All these guys made history. The prosecutor, the TBI, the ballistics, the blood examiners, Dr. Riviere, or whatever his name was. He says here that he's going to try to keep the name out of the record for right now, and that he's wanting to give this guy some
Time.
anonymity. Yeah, go ahead there. I'll get it on the next one.
He wanted the extra time to prepare his family and his friends for what is about to come out.
He wants the extra time. He doesn't want to name this guy right now, but he names him here in a minute, in a roundabout way, if we're correct. He doesn't want to name this guy because he wants to have some extra time to prepare his family and friends and everybody for he's going to be famous. He's going to be famous because he's got this gun, and they've tried to link it to Buford Pusser. Not through no pictures, not through no video, not through fingerprints, not through DNA, not through. But Mike says that, you'll hear him in a minute. He says Buford, it was said that Buford had this gun at one time. Now, so he's preparing this guy. He doesn't want to mention this guy's name because this guy wants some time to get with his family and everybody get together and understand, guys, we're going to be famous because Dad's had this gun for 60 years and it's stolen. And we've had it ever since Dad died in 2016, if we're correct on the obituary. We've had it since 2016, and we've known it was stolen then. Why haven't they been charged? Go ahead, babe.
So I'm going to respect that because I gave him my word that his name would remain confidential until such a time. So
his name's going to remain confidential. You ever seen anybody rob a bank and somebody knows about it and they say, "Hey, don't worry about it. I ain't going to tell on you. I'll keep it confidential. I respect you." It's a stolen gun, guys. It's a felony. It's theft of a military Department of Defense, United States Air Force military M1 rifle was stolen.
Mm-hmm.
He's in possession of it. They've been in possession of it for 60 years. Mike's been in possession of it. Mike shot this stolen gun. Go ahead.
we're there. But at any rate, as far as the gun goes, as best I can tell, the story really starts with O'Neill Moffett when he was in the Air Force. And as you know, they were getting rid of the M1s and updating to the M14 as a carry weapon for certain members of the Air Force. And when he was told that he was going to be working on a detail to pick up the M1s, they were going to be disposed of. So O'Neill thought he would help them out a little bit, and he'd dispose of a few himself by taking them back to McNairy County and selling them. Well, you know, O'Neill told me, he said, I thought they were going to be disposed of, so I didn't think it would hurt.
Stop it there. I'll tell you, I look at that sign behind there, truth, has no agenda. I just see truth, and I'm thinking, truth. Anyway, let's just stop right there where he says O'Neill. He's talking about O'Neill Moffett. Died in 2016. I think he was born in 1943. Went into the Air Force. He's saying he stole, I think at one point they say 3 guns, but stole some M1 rifles. He says here when Moffett told him about the gun, he says when he told me about it. Now, guys, this man died in 2016. What I'm looking for, Mr. Elam, is anything. A tape recording, a video, a signed statement, notarized by Mr. Moffett, a video of yours where you made a video prior to 2016, prior to Mr. Moffett dying, where you say Moffett told you about this gun and about the theft and all that. Because after 2016, see, guys, I have learned, Sheila and I have, from Hatfield McCoy history and the way people do. After somebody dies, it's open. It's open game. Say what you want. Nobody's there to, just like with Buford. Buford can't defend himself. Pauline can't defend Buford. They're both dead. Now, he can say whatever he wants, and he may very well be telling the truth. I don't believe he is. In my opinion, I'm allowed my opinion. I don't believe that he tells the truth very often, in my opinion. I watch his videos, and it's all I can do to try to watch it long enough because I can look at the guys. Guys, if there's any of you out there that's ever had interrogation or any of this stuff, watch his eyes, watch his body language, it's not hard to tell on Mike Elam when Mike Elam's been deceitful. Maybe, go ahead.
I have a question.
Okay, sure.
Okay, this is probably a silly thing.
No, it ain't.
Okay. When did the guy contact him about the weapon?
Well, he says that he contacted him later on because the guy figured out that he was the man or something. He calls himself. He says he figured out I was the real deal. You'll hear him say that in a minute. He's the real deal. The guy's got the city police, the county sheriff's office, the state police, the TBI, the FBI, the ATF. He figures out that Mike Elam is the real deal. So he calls Mike Elam and tells him he's got this gun. Now they start, you'll see it. It'll come together in a minute.
Well, what I was going to say is it all depends on when this guy called him and told him he had the weapon and when the father passed away. If it was 2016, there's no way. So I was trying to link when he was told about the weapon.
Well, Mike Elam says that
3 years?
Moffett, he says that O'Neill Moffett told him this story about the gun. You're going to hear him tell in a minute that he says that O'Neill Moffett said that Buford knew about the gun. That's what he's going to say. See, we hear third party. All you hear from Mike Elam is he said this, he said that, I heard this, it probably like this, and that's what he does. He never shows a document. Wow. He never shows a court paper. He never shows anything at all. He sits there in that chair and he talks. He speaks into history, a storytell. He tells a story. He says that Moffett told him about this story. So if Moffett told him about this story, he told him this story before 2016.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Because he died in 2016.
Exactly. So that's good.
It's 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
This is 26 almost.
Yeah.
10 years ago. Now, after he died at some point, he says the son got a hold of him. Well, he's already said, Moffett done told him the story.
That's
so
what
he already knew about the gun. He's known about this gun for at least 10 years, according to him.
Right.
He's telling that in his own words that Moffett told him about this at some time in his life. We know that Moffett died in 2016. So it had to be before 2016, exactly. At least 10 years ago.
Exactly. Wow. Okay. Sorry.
Good point. Exactly. Maybe somebody was thinking the same thing you're asking.
But then, of course, he didn't realize that they would probably take an inventory of all those weapons and make sure they had them all, which is exactly what happened. And, of course, his superiors knew exactly who was on the details to pick these firearms up. And it wasn't long before they started to ask questions. And so I can say that.
You got a question?
So if his superiors knew about it, then why wasn't he, court-martialed or?
Well, that comes up.
Something.
He gets to that here in a minute. Okay. Yeah, he gets to, that's where he's going to with it.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Perfectly fine. When you have a question, babe, you ask it. These people out here, you have some good questions.
I was just wondering if he was honorably discharged or.
We're going to see. That's a good question.
That's what I'm saying. Was he court-martialed?
Me and you didn't go over that part, but I did find. Let's when we get there, we'll discuss that.
Sorry.
Buford had several of these M1s. He, when O'Neill took some up to McNairy County to sell, well, Buford had some. So, yeah.
Says Moffett told him he had several of those M1s, that he had some and Buford had some. We've never seen a picture of Buford holding an M1 rifle. Never had no evidence. One of his friends said that Buford didn't even own a 30 caliber. He owned a lot of guns, but didn't even own anything that shot a 30 caliber round because that had come up in the past over the years. This man liked to drove, well, he probably did drive her, in my opinion, Dewana crazy.
Wow.
This is what drove Dewana crazy, whether it's self-inflicted or whatever, but this is what drove somebody, and all she had to do was get her a good lawyer, and she could have put a stop to this with a restraining order or with a lawsuit. But go ahead, babe.
Have that. Buford did take O'Neill up to Jackson's, spoke with somebody up there, and helped.
He took O'Neill to Jackson, and they spoke to somebody. O'Neill didn't tell him
who
they spoke with or what they did or what they spoke about. Buford took O'Neill to Jackson, and they spoke to somebody up there. Boys, that's all you're ever going to get out of this man.
Vague.
And the ones that he does name are deceased. The majority of the one, unless they're 20 or 30 years old, 40 years old, they wasn't even born. And they said, well, they heard their grandmother's, father's, uncle's mother say something. Go ahead.
O'Neill avoid a lot of serious problems with it. He still had to go to court, federal court, and deal with a few things there, but it could have turned out a lot worse for him had it not.
Now, Sheila asked a question a while ago, and I might as well discuss it here. It's down on the list.
Sorry.
No, there's your... He says that O'Neill was charged in federal court. In federal court with stealing those guns. Now, we've got two questions. You're going to hear one of them is, why wasn't he made to return the guns that he stole? Second of all, in his obituary, it says United States Air Force served, which goes along with Mike's story as far as he stole the guns from the Air Force when they were switching over from M1s to M14s. But it says honorable in the obituary.
Did it really?
Now, how can you be charged criminally in federal court? They could have dismissed the charges. See, it's very odd for federal charges to ever be dismissed without some kind of a plea, they want that conviction rate up there. They pride themselves on a conviction rate or plea rate. They're telling me that this man stole several. He says he stole several M1 rifles from the Air Force.
Wow.
Now they've caught him, and he's had to go to Jackson or somewhere to report because he's been charged federally. But yet in his obituary charge, how is that? Something's not right. Either the obituary is incorrect, the family put that there in honor of their dad, or what the story that Mike is saying is not true. One or the other. You don't get it from stealing
stuff.
Go ahead. You're
from
right.
Stealing. That
Especially rifles, baby.
Yeah.
Especially firearms. Firearms is a big deal in the military. When you come up missing a firearm in the military, the base is locked down. You're going to be there for the duration. It ain't something that we had that happen on our base. We were locked down for like 3 days before the guy finally gave up, told him he took the 45. It was a 45. 1911. Go ahead.
Okay, I have a question. What about ammunition?
Okay, what about it?
Did he steal that too?
Oh, I don't know. He doesn't mention that.
Okay.
He doesn't mention any ammunition, but that's a good question. No, we won't delete that. That's a good question. Because if you're taking things out of the armory, in the armory along with firearms, rifles, pistols is also your ammunition. So well, you've not taken some ammunition with them, but 30 caliber you can buy anywhere.
Right over the counter.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll just.
No, that's a good question.
Okay.
Go ahead. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Sorry.
Been for Buford. However, now we know that Buford has some of these firearms.
Stop.
Well,
now, guys, that's what you call. I'm sorry to stop it like this, but I want to bring your attention to this fella. Anybody that watches him, I got a buddy out there that watches him, believes in him. Anybody that watches him, he just told you that O'Neill had some rifles. He gave Buford some rifles, and then he comes back here just now and he says, like we said, Buford's got some rifles. He says it like it's been confirmed. Now, a while ago, he set it up. He set up the ploy, and he said O'Neill gave Buford some rifles. Then he mentioned again about Buford having rifles. And now this is the third time, and he said So Buford's got his rifles. How do we know that? We don't know. He just told us 3 times that Buford has rifles, but we have not seen no proof. But the last time he said it just then, he said it in a manner like we know Buford's got his rifles. We don't know that. We know that's what he's told us now for the 3rd time. But we have no evidence whatsoever that Buford has an M1 rifle, stolen or not stolen. There's nothing. There's no picture. There's no...
Nothing to back it up.
Go ahead.
Okay. All righty.
The ambush occurred, and the morning that he was at the Selmer Hospital before being sent to...
Guys, see if you catch this. I want you to see if you catch this. Let's see how smart you are. Listen to what he's getting ready to say. I've already interrupted him, but he says the morning that he was at the Selmer Hospital after he got shot, they took her and him I think they took her to the funeral home, but they took him to the hospital. And so he's at the hospital there in McNairy County right now. This is before they ship him out. Listen to what this man feeds you and see if you're buying it.
Memphis to the Baptist Hospital. He contacted a friend that had access to Sibley Chevrolet and the garage there. And Buford is said to have told this friend.
Buford is said to have told his friend. Go ahead.
Go there, get in the trunk, remove all my guns, and that's what happened, apparently. And
I was going to do this toward the end of the video, but I'm going to give it to you now. Guys, first of all, the man's been in a shootout. His wife's been killed. Half his face is blown off. She'll probably put that picture of his face right here. Now, they're saying that this was orchestrated. This was a well-staged scene. You've got 4 or 5 different crime scenes on the highway, with casings on the highway in the ditch with her skull, up at the graveyard with another bunch of rounds, Buford's jawbone. You've got all kinds of different crime scenes, but it's staged. But Buford didn't stage it good enough that he hid the guns. He's in the hospital, can't talk, jaw's falling off, but bring me a phone, because back then we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have phones right beside. In the old days, 60s, you would have probably had to go to the nurse's station to use the phone.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't even have rooms. They didn't even have private rooms back then. You had 2 to 4 people to a room, a ward. Not everybody had a phone. He's saying that Buford got a phone some way with his jaw hanging down, half his jawbone gone, and he called somebody up in the middle of a shootout, and everybody around waiting on Buford. Hold on. Don't fool with me yet. I don't need no pain medicine. I don't need no bandage. I'm bleeding everywhere, but it's okay. I've got to, go up there and get my guns out of the trunk of that car. Guess what, guys? Have you figured it out yet? Have you figured it out? If there's one gun in the world that wasn't used in that ambush, it's the gun that he's referring to. He says that Buford told him to go up and get all the guns out of his trunk of his car that was at a Chevrolet dealership.
Mm-hmm.
Get all his guns out of his car and get them out of there. Why? The ambush has already taken place. It's over with.
What would they have to do?
Any gun that was in that car was not used in an ambush. That gun is accounted for. It's locked away in the trunk of the car because he's now at the hospital. Go ahead, Punk. I've got some more here, but I'll bring it up as we go. Let's stop right here just 1 minute. We got a stolen gun. We've got one criminal. One criminal's dead that stole the guns, and he's dead now. He's deceased. He stole the guns because he's in possession of a stolen firearm. Now, he contacts Mike in 2020 2021 to 2023, let's say. Let's put it in anywhere we want. He contacts Mike because he feels Mike is the man. Now, Mike is now a criminal because Mike knows the whereabouts of a stolen military firearm, and he doesn't tell nobody. He says here that the guy asked him to remain anonymous. Mike said he'll let him remain anonymous until he tells him. And he says over in here, with his permission, I went to the TBI. Asked permission to stay anonymous. I would too if I was a criminal. If I had just committed a crime and I told Mike or I told somebody about it, I'd say, leave me out of it. Let me stay anonymous. Oh, okay, I will. Let's don't mention it. Let's go shoot it. Let's go see how that thing shoots. This is a stolen M1 from the Department of Defense, Air Force. He wants to remain anonymous. Of course, he realizes his name's going to be in the files and his name's going to appear there someday because he's going to be famous when he's dealing with the Buford Pusser file. He's going to be famous like Mike, like the TBI, like Mr. Davison. They're going to be famous, all right. I think they're going to be famous as Keystone Cops at some point, or maybe in the same level as this store security guard, loss prevention guy. I better stick with my notes. It should also appear, yeah, that's where his name should appear. Their names should appear on a jail log somewhere, an arrest log, a prison log. Guys, they've committed a crime. I'm sorry to harp on it. Maybe it's where I was a former police officer. They've committed a crime. Do you guys understand that whether they commit a crime now or tomorrow or last year, or they're no different than Buford Pusser. They're saying Buford Pusser committed a crime. That's 58 years ago. Okay, he committed a crime. We can't put him in jail, but we can put other people that commit crimes in jail. These guys knew and have known the whereabouts of a stolen gun, something that the ATF would put gangbangers or somebody out here that's nobody on the street in jail forever. But because the TBI wants a story, they want to build a case against Buford Pusser, even though it's circumstantial, even though there's nothing to it, even though they're going to go by Mike's book and his storytelling, not research, but storytelling. And stories from mostly people that's deceased. Is the man really that credible? Please put him, TBI, have you given this man a polygraph? Have you given him a polygraph just on the fact of what he says that people's told him? Oh, O'Neill told me this one told me that, I heard this, and every video you watch, he's heard something, somebody's told him something. It probably happened. History forevermore. Just could connect it from 1967. Guys, there were 6.2 million M1 rifles made. 6.2 million. Just because they had an M1 and a 30 caliber doesn't mean it was this rifle. Now that I heard Mike today, Sheila and I, we know that this is not one of the guns that we used in the ambush. It's not. It was locked in the trunk of a car at a car dealership somewhere around Adamsville or Sumner or somewhere. Wanted the extra time to prepare his family. I'm just going over my notes so I can catch up. We're going to be famous. Should have prepared the family for them going to jail. It's what they should be preparing for. TBI is a joke, guys. I'm sorry. I probably won't never be able to go back through Tennessee, but the TBI, not all of you fellas, just like the Kentucky State Police, not everybody in the TBI, but these people in the TBI that was so wanting to be famous, the director that's standing there with Mr. Davison, the director of the TBI, is a joke. This was all set up. They thought that they would come out there with those badges and those titles and those suits, and nobody would ever question what they said. Nobody would ever pay attention to the words they used, opinions. They think it was more likely than not. It was likely. It was probable. It was. That's not evidence. That's not beyond a reasonable doubt. That won't get you a conviction. And they thought nobody would ever come out and challenge them or question them. And I'm probably making a mistake by doing it. I'm probably making a mistake by doing it. Because if people will do this, they'll do anything. I've been in police work. I've seen enough law enforcement. I've seen enough corruption. I've seen enough to last a lifetime. Mike says, oh, he was just in a small department. I was in a large department for 10 years when I first turned in 5 sheriffs, my sheriff and 4 others. And again, I go to Kentucky, 4 Kentucky sheriffs arrested. That's me, Mr. Elam. That's me and my partner. Yep. And then we also turned in our sheriff along with it.
We lived it.
We lived it. I can tell you case after case after case, but we're not here for that. I'm not here for me. We're here for Buford Pusser. I don't care. Sometimes a person gets caught up and sometimes they try to redirect you and they'll insult you and they'll go ahead. I'm not worried about insults. This is not about me. Let's concentrate on 1967. Pauline Pusser been murdered and her husband been falsely accused. And people coming up there and making it, staging it to make it look like they're pointing it in a certain direction. They're not letting the evidence lead them and follow the evidence. Follow the evidence, director. You've never heard that? Follow the evidence. You don't follow your opinion. You don't follow the way you think it should go. Which way is going to get me the most publicity? Am I going to get publicity if I say nothing happened, or can I get, guys, this is wrong. And the word go, I'm sorry. I'm going to respect that. Mr. Elam says he's going to respect this fella that asked him to keep him anonymous, that he didn't want his name out there just yet. He said, I'll respect that. You're going to respect a man that's in possession of a stolen military firearm? I gave him my word that it would remain confidential. Mr. Elam, you're going to hear him here in a minute. If he hasn't said it already, I don't believe he has. I gave him my word it would remain confidential. Then he's a conspirator. He conspired with another person. I don't know Tennessee law, but a lot of our states is almost the same on certain crimes. And when 2 or more people conspire to commit a crime or to cover up a crime or they're as much a part of it is the person that done it. The guy driving a car out in front of a bank is as guilty as the 2 gunmen that went inside and picked up the money. He's as guilty driving that car as he'd went in that bank. They conspired to commit a crime. They're all 3 equally guilty. He is now guilty, in my opinion. It's not my opinion. It should be, the law should be able to prove it, but where's TBI at? If the TBI didn't want to charge them, don't look like they're very efficient. So if they didn't want to charge them, they could have at least called up the ATF and said, hey guys, Nashville, we got a guy up here, 2 guys that's in possession of a stolen gun. We're going to turn this part over to you. And then if ATF didn't follow through with it, then we could be on the ATF. But I would bet my hat that, what are you laughing at? I would bet my hat that the TBI never handed it off to the ATF. The ATF didn't know about it. It's in their hands. ATF's not going to step in and take somebody's case from them. You have to ask FBI. You have to ask ATF. They haven't asked. They wanted this case. They wanted to build this case and point it in one direction. That famous direction. Famous. Make them famous. They'll always be famous in my book. They're going to be famous as corrupt police officers, in my opinion, and prosecutors, because we're not seeing it. We didn't see it in the interview, in the press conference. We're not seeing it in any autopsies, any reports. We're not seeing it. And we're definitely not seeing it through this gun that Mr. Davison says that, well, we think this is the gun that was used to shoot outside the car and put her in the car. Her skull's down on New Hope Road, part of it, shot her outside the car and put her in the car down there. Well, there should be blood all over that.
All over the ground.
Stuff, not just her skull that blew out the window, along with the wind that broke. Guys, it don't add up. It didn't happen. I'm sorry. Surely, and I do, I'm not going to say surely because I've got all kinds of police officers, former police officers, attorneys, and they agree with me. But surely there's even more. Surely it's overwhelming that the majority of investigators out there are seeing what Sheila and I are seeing. I gave him my word that I would remain confidential. You know, here's your. Oh, if we go out of this, we can't come back to this, can we? You can't. That's okay. You can put it up right here. Sheila's going to do something you'll probably get a kick out of right here. It's for a little laugh. It's only about 30 seconds long.
I didn't see you, and we did sit there. We've got to stick together to keep our story straight.
But you'll see it about right now.
Okay.
And then we'll go on to O'Neill Moffett. Our question was he still alive? Well, he's not. He's not. We found the obituary. If it's not him, guys, if we do anything or show anything wrong, because we're going to show you from here in a minute, show you his obituary.
Yeah.
If it's not him or we're incorrect, please correct us. This O'Neill Moffett was in the Air Force on McNairy County Sheriff's Department. Died in 2016 because he says they gave it to his son. If I'm correct, let's put that on me. He says Buford had some of these M1s. He doesn't even just say the one. He said Buford had some of these M1s. I try to write down verbatim, right out of his mouth, what he says. Buford had some of these M1s. Well, he said he stole several. I've heard 3 before, but he says several, so several could be 3 or more.
Mm-hmm.
When O'Neill took them up to McNairy to sell them, Buford had some. That was his comment. Buford had some of them when he took them up there to sell them. So you have, and that's where you watch his face. Buford took O'Neill to Jackson and spoke to somebody up there. Don't know who he spoke to, but he took him up there and spoke to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
O'Neill had to go to court. But Buford had guns also. O'Neill had to go to court, federal court, for stealing these guns, according to Mike.
Mm-hmm.
But he says Buford had the guns. Why wasn't Buford in court? Why wasn't Buford charged with having some of these stolen guns?
Good question.
They didn't make any of you military men out there. You've got stolen military guns. You've got your suspect. He's admitting to it. He's in federal court. They didn't make them return the guns. Have you ever heard of that? Have you ever heard of that? They would have put him in Leavenworth until the guns were returned.
You think?
The guns were not even returned, Mike. Mike, if you can answer any of these questions, sir, answer them for us. You know, guys, let me explain something to you. It's at the back of somebody keeps writing, Fred, won't you debate Mike? Fred, won't you debate Mike? I wouldn't give Mike the satisfaction of debating Fred McCoy. I'm sorry. I wouldn't give him the satisfaction. I have talked to criminals with more dignity than I feel, in my opinion, that this guy has got. This guy run Buford Pusser's daughter crazy, his family crazy over this nonsense where he's trying to steal Buford's glory. I wouldn't give him the satisfaction of debating me for 2 reasons. One, because he's not honorable enough. I'm not perfect. I don't profess to be perfect. But this man is so deceitful and so dishonest that it's all I can do to look at him on the screen. I despise him, and I shouldn't feel like that. And I'm sorry, Lord, but I'm telling you the truth. I do. I just seen so much mistruth and dishonesty in this guy. And how do you debate somebody? How does Fred McCoy or Sheila debate a storyteller? What are we going to do? See who can tell the best story? Because, see, I'm not that good of a liar. I'm good at bawling people out. I'm good at speaking my piece. I'm good at putting my foot in my mouth and being too mean and harsh. I was getting better at that. I was doing real good for a while, and then I got on this Buford Pusser case, and I'm struggling. Huh?
It's all right. You'll get there.
You can't debate somebody that's a storyteller and a fibber. You got to know how to lie. You got to know how to sit there and shovel it out there. Shovel it out. Shovel it out. I don't want to debate. I want proof. We want to see evidence. What's the evidence? Not Buford went to Jackson and saw somebody. Buford had several of those guns. Buford had a lot of those guns. That don't tell us nothing. That's not evidence. That's a story. If you want to know if Mike Elam can tell a better story than Fred McCoy or Sheila, you better believe it. He wins hands down.
Yeah.
We'll give it to him. We forfeit.
It's okay.
We forfeit.
I don't mind.
No. But some people just wants to say that they debated, that they talked to, that they interviewed, again, one of them sent us a thing and said, would you all want to interview me for your channel? No, because it's his partner. He does the same stuff this guy does. The sad people in all this is not Mike. Mike's just trying to make $1. Mike's trying to get famous some way. This loss prevention officer is starving for attention in some manner. He wasn't real accomplished in life with something that he wanted to do. I'm sorry, but that's my assessment. I could be wrong, guys. I'm no psychiatrist. I don't know what is.
Well,
this would be a treat for some psychologist. I'll tell you that. What you gonna say?
He's kind of doing what he talked about in the past, illusionary truth.
Yeah. Well, he's doing exactly. He gets mad at me for correcting him, but he's doing the same thing he done the same thing to Dewana. He done the same thing to Pauline. Doing the same thing to Buford.
Yeah.
Where does it end? And then he gets mad when you call him out. Why didn't they charge Buford? That's our question.
Good question.
Again, we've said we're not fans. We're becoming fans of Buford Pusser. I can tell you that. If it comes between Buford Pusser and Mike Elam or Baldwin or Dennis, guys, we're Buford Pusser all the way. Because I think Buford Pusser would tell you the truth. He may slap you with his backhand while he's at it, but he'll tell you the truth. I don't think he beat around the bush about nothing.
No.
Why didn't they charge Buford?
Good point.
Mike says while Buford was at the hospital before being shipped to Memphis with his jaw shot off, Buford contacted a friend that had access to the Chevy garage. He had keys to the Chevy garage. That's where Buford's car was at. Whatever car he had, Buford is said to have told his friend, go there, get in the trunk, and remove all my guns. Why would a man that just killed his wife? Can you trust anybody? There's an old saying, Mike, where two or more are involved, one will talk. Mm-hmm. One will talk. Do you really believe that if he was that close with Buford Pusser, that if he went and got the guns out of the car, that he didn't know what he got the guns out of the car for, that they was used in a homicide? They couldn't be used in a homicide because he's just been shot in the face. He can't get down there to get them. See if there's a trail of blood at the Chevy dealer. Look at the blood splatter everywhere. Where's the blood all over the Chevy dealer where he put them at the car dealership? It does not add up, guys. I can go on and on. I don't want to bore you. You guys are too smart for me to waste your time. And we're already up to 49 minutes. This was
all the medication that they should have given him, and with half his face gone there's no way he could form a complete sentence that's understandable. Yeah.
The deputy found his jawbone. He says he's shot in the face, shot in the cheek, and come in one side and out the other. I don't want to stick my finger in my mouth, but they go like this right here. Guys, look at Buford's chin. Buford's jawbone is down here. That's what's missing. That's where reconstructive surgery. That's where the stitches are. That's where the cuts. There's nothing up here. You can even look, if you look at it good enough, you look at where it's cut here, and then you'll see the exit wound over here. You'll see a little half moon. That's where the bullets come out, at least one of them. Doctor said he was shot twice, maybe even 3 times.
That's what they said.
Mike says that's what happened. Apparently. I thought it was a staged scene. I thought it was staged. Everything should have run perfect. He staged all this, but he forgot. Well, wait a minute. My jaw's hanging. I forgot. I gotta get some guns out of my trunk. Wait till you hear what he does with the gun. If staged and the shooting was done, took place, those guns didn't matter. Those guns didn't matter in the trunk of his car. If it's already staged and the shooting's done took place out on New Hope Road, those guns are irrelevant. They don't matter. They're in the trunk of a car locked away. There would be no reason to get it. That man's, like Sheila says, that guy's got half his face shot off. He's in pain. I don't know how tough they think he was, but I don't think he was tough with his jaw hanging off.
I don't think he could form a sentence.
The man's wife is dead. He's almost dead, but usually because they said he almost bled out. Look at the hood of the car. Look at the door of the car. Buford got out of that car. If you think a 6'6" man, watch that movie that Sheila played a couple of days ago in one of our videos, just the clip of where they're doing the reenactment in Walking Tall. And Joe Don Baker comes across the seat of that car. Now, of course, what's her name? She's laying down in the floorboard, so he's got the whole seat to come across. He comes across the front and out the side. They said Buford went out the driver's door and come around the back because he was going to get his rifle out of the trunk. And then he come on around to her. And then he runs around and gets back in the car and drives on back off again. That's where the blood come from. He's like a St. Bernard, guys. He's got a chin hanging. He's bleeding like a stuck pig. There's blood going everywhere. That's Buford's blood. She wasn't shot outside the car. She was shot in the car with her scalp come off and went into the ditch that Dennis found in the ditch. Don't read into things. Don't fairy tale it. Man's wife's dead. He's almost dead, but he wants to use the phone so he can tell somebody to get his guns out of the car. Get your boots on, guys. It's getting deep. TBI's. This is TBI's lead investigator, guys. I'm sorry to say. When you guys see, well, you can't take it out on all of them. I'm sure some of the other ones is good officers.
Sure.
This is what Mr. Hoach or something, what his name is, the director of the TBI. Roush. Thank you, babe. This is what Mr. Roush is listening to as an investigator on the Buford Pusser case. This is his lead investigator. And this man thought he was going to be famous for it. He thought it was going to be, he just grinning from ear to ear when he thought all this was coming together for him. And they thought it was coming together until here comes along Fred and Sheila McCoy and the good Lord. Guys, we got the good Lord on our side.
There you go. No,
if we're wrong, please correct us and we'll apologize and say we're wrong. But we think some people have been done unjustly, and mostly Pauline and Buford, and especially Dewana.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to all the guns. He says he don't know what happened to all the guns, but I do know this individual decided to keep a gun for himself, and it was that M1 carbine. Now, Mike says here, you're going to hear him. I'm going to let you hear the rest of it, so you don't take my word for it. Mike says he don't know what happened to all the guns that he took, but he kept one M1 rifle. Guys, after 1967, Buford didn't get killed till 7 years later, babe. 1974?
74.
Buford didn't get killed till 7 years later, 1974. After he was healed up, he's out of the hospital, everything's back to normal, all this thing. He goes and gets his, where'd you put my guns at? Okay. Wait a minute, where's my M1 at? I'm missing an M1. Oh, no, it wasn't there. You didn't have no M1. Yeah, I had an M. Do you really think that Buford, Mike talks like Buford passed away, like just magically a M1 rifle disappears out of Buford's collection. He's so concerned about his guns that he sends this guy to go pick his guns up for him. But when he gets out of the hospital, he's not so concerned that he's one of them, at least one of them he's not accounted for. And he doesn't ask where it's at. And I want my gun back. I would you guys? There's guys out there listening to me right now that knows our guns are like diamond rings to a woman. That's our jewelry.
Your bling bling.
They're bling bling. Bang bang bangs.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sorry, guys. Now it's not like Buford died. He lived. He never missed one of his guns. Made up story, guys. Made up story. And he's caught. Mike is making it up as he goes. Where's any names? Have we heard any names other than Moffat? Moffat's dead. He says he talked to Moffat, and Moffat told him this. Surely Mike's got a tape recording. Because the funny thing is, Mike don't have no tape recordings of nobody, but all these people's dead now. Mike don't have no certified, signed, notarized signature of a statement. But everybody's dead. They say this is Buford Pusser's statement. Guys, am I wrong? There's a couple of people out there that's on the other side that still communicates with me, and I appreciate that because I'm not on one side or the other. We are on the side of truth.
Right.
Truth with proof.
Mm-hmm.
But if some of you guys out there could help me, we would appreciate Sheila and I because we can't find it. We would like to find, we've got Buford's statement, but nowhere on it is Buford's signature. Nowhere on one page or two page is his initials where he initialed that. What they typed out on that page is what he said. Does anybody out there have, they're always complaining over Buford Pusser's statement. Where is it? Where is his statement? Because what we see is a statement written by a third party. Somebody said that Buford said this, Buford said that, Buford said he said this, he said that. He said they went here. He said he went there. Now, if it would have said, I drove Pauline on down to the 45 and we turned and went towards Sumner, that's a different story. But where's the signature? Whether he wrote it or somebody else wrote it, where's the signed copy at? Are we missing it? Could be missing it. Or does it not even exist? Are you guys saying that a man made a false statement when somebody else wrote a statement out? Could have been 5 years later. Could have been after Buford was killed and dead, that somebody come back and said, hey, he made a movie in 73. Let's dog him. Do you guys think that everybody is honest in law enforcement, guys? Do you think everybody's got character and honesty and integrity and character? They don't. I'm sorry to bust everybody's bubble. I've seen it in law enforcement. I'm disgusted with it. Somebody wrote today something. I said, yeah, back the blue till it happens to you. I mean, it's that people don't realize. Watch these YouTube videos. That's when I really realized it. It's one thing to say a police officer done this or that, but when you've got a video and you're seeing, man, what a disgrace. So the people that he says he hears from are now deceased. Does he have any proof whatsoever that Mr. Moffat told him that? Because everybody else, he just says somebody, he met somebody. I'm not going to tell you the boy's name. I'm not going to tell you his son's name because we're going to tell you his name in a minute. If we're correct, if we're not, please call us, text us, whatever. We'll take the names back down and apologize. But from what he's saying, says he had this stolen gun for years before passing it to his son. Now the gun is double stolen. Now this gun's been stolen twice. It's been stolen from the Air Force. And now, according to Mike Elam, it has stolen it from Buford Pusser. If that's true. Son decided Mike was the real deal. This loss prevention guy right here had the authority to test fire and collect bullets and casings, etc. from a stolen gun. Guys, I'm going to give you a hypothetical and then we're going to start this video. I'm going to let you finish him, but I'm going to give you a hypothetical, Mike. Hypothetical. What if a person wanted down the road in history for this so-called gun that was in the trunk of a car when all this shooting took place, so it wasn't involved? Out of all the guns out there, this gun was not involved. You can rule it out. But what if that gun that they've got now that they think was used in that, they were told by Mike and this other guy wanting to be famous that it was used in a shooting. Now Mike and this other guy went out there and they shot this stolen gun. How many times? He doesn't say. He says they shot it several times and got the casings and even got the bullets, the projectiles, out of whatever they shot it into. And they're in his safe. TBI, you need a search warrant? Do you need a search warrant, or will he let you come and get them? Because that's evidence. That's casings and that's bullets, projectiles from a stolen gun. That's not his to keep. That's evidence that he shot and had possession of a stolen gun. How much do you need? How much evidence do you really need to charge this man? Let's go on to what? Why would a person hypothetically do this for? Why would you want a bunch of empty casings shot from that gun? Why? Well, how about if a person took some of them empty casings and went down on New Hope Road where Dennis said he found the skull at, a piece of Pauline's skull, and the other casings? What if a person went down and threw 2 or 3 of them out in different places? What if 3 or 4 years from now, or 6 months, or whenever, somebody comes down through there with a metal detector, just casually, and all of a sudden,
Coincidence.
Thank you, babe. That's a good word. Coincidentally, they find these casings. Oh, look what I found. Well, this is where Buford and them had that shootout. I'm calling TBI. TBI, look here what I got. Oh, let us look at that. Now let's send that to a ballistics guy, because see, now the ballistics guy, unlike looking at a photo, he's got something to test. He's got a casing and he's got an M1 rifle. Now we can do some testing. Let's look for gouge marks. Let's look for ejection marks. Let's look for all these little things that these guys, I don't know. I'm a YouTuber, guys. But let's look at all these things that these experts that's been to school for this would look at. Now you got a match. Ooh, look at here, boys.
On a coinkydink.
Look at here. We've got that connects that rifle that this man was connected to and the other guy's connected to. That connects that rifle to this casing, to this ambush scene. This gun was definitely on the scene. Guys, I hope you're understanding me. I hope I'm not.
No, I'm sure they're getting it.
There's all kinds of things out there that can happen with evidence and with people. You got to be able to trust people. People's got to have integrity. People that handles evidence has to have integrity, because they can do certain things with that evidence. Let's let him play.
Okay.
I don't know what happened to all the guns, but I do know that this individual chose to keep a particular gun for himself, and that was an M1 carbine. And he had it there in his possession for years before he passed it along to his son. Now, son is the one that contacted me. He'd been following my page on Facebook, and he finally decided that I was the real deal, that I was trying to get down to who murdered Pauline. So he contacted me and told me his story about how he got the gun from his dad as his dad got older, and he knew enough about the ambush and Pusser's story to be somewhat suspicious. And he said he had always wondered if that might have been the gun that was used in the ambush. And he wanted to know, so he contacted me. And then, in turn, I got in my car, I went over there, I photographed it, I took down all the information from the gun, the serial number, so on, and fired it, took some of the spent casings, and we'd set up a situation where we could recover some projectiles, which I have all those over in my safe. And at that point, well, with his permission, I contacted the TBI and gave them the information. And shortly, an agent called and wanted to know more about this gun. So I gave him the information I had and this other individual's contact information, and they made arrangements with him to pick the gun up, which they did. They've had it ever since. And usually, if it's not connected to the case, they return it to the owner. Hadn't been returned. So, you know, you can read into that what you will. But since it hasn't been returned, I suspect that it most likely was the gun that was used. Now, that's pretty much the story about the gun and how the TBI got it.
We had some technical difficulty.
Sorry.
Plus, I had to get up and stretch. My back's hurting. Guys, it's probably going to be 2 videos. She's probably, if it is 2 videos, she's probably done cut it by now, or you can probably just cut me out. Video, by now, you've seen the video. It quit on us, so Sheila's just going to add it in.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't be able to comment as we go with what Mike says or point anything out. So hopefully you picked up on it
Right.
as it went. These 2 men were in possession of a stolen gun, and they were building a story behind it. They were fitting a story to suit their narrative, what they were leading to. Where is tape or written statements from the father who stole the guns or stole that gun? He knew enough about the ambush and Pusser's story to be somewhat suspicious. That's what you should have heard Mike say by now. Mike says, this guy contacted me because he thought I was the real deal. That's what he calls himself, the real deal. And he knew enough about the Pusser story to be somewhat suspicious. So let's build a story to fit our narrative. That's my words. Him and this guy got together. The dad's dead. Mike can say whatever he wants to that they had this conversation. Short of us hearing a tape. Short of a tape. If he's
Right.
got a tape or a signed statement or something, then
Right.
we'll go with it. He had always wondered if this had been the gun used at the ambush. That's what the boy told Mike, according to Mike. He'd always wondered.
Mm-hmm.
Always wondered if this stolen military M1 rifle was the gun that used at the ambush. Well, I can tell you that it's not, because his dad went and got it out of the trunk of a car. It wasn't at the ambush. No, it couldn't have been, because it was at the Chevy dealers in the trunk.
Mm-hmm.
Fired it and took some of the spent casings. We've discussed that.
Yeah.
And bullets. Have them in the safe. Mike says that with the permission of the fella that's in possession of the stolen gun, with his permission, he contacted the TBI. How many of you law-abiding citizens out there, guys? I can imagine what a loss prevention this. I've got you. With the permission, Mike contacted the TBI. What if not given the permission? What if the guy would have said, no, Mike, I'd rather you didn't contact the TBI? Then we'd still have a stolen M1 rifle in this guy's possession today, and Mike would be nothing. Because it's definitely not a law-abiding citizen, or he would have taken it on himself, period. Forget Buford Pusser. Forget, we've got a stolen gun out here. We don't know if it's Pusser's or who's had it, if it's been used in a kill. We don't know, but we know we got a stolen gun. We know that much. If there is a gun out there not connected to the ambush, it's this gun. It was at the Chevy dealer. We can't emphasize that enough. The rest of your life, guys, TBI, Mark Davison, this is not your gun. Now, you can try to put your statement. No wonder your test was inconclusive. They wasn't inconclusive. They are negative. They are negative. We're just trying to use a roundabout word rather than coming out and saying nope. Well, you can go ahead and say nope now, because this gun was at a Chevy dealer in the trunk of a car, the gun he's got. TBI picked up the gun. Mike says that TBI picked up the gun from the guy that had it there. No arrest, no charges, no nothing. They've had this gun for 50 to 60 years, stolen military gun, and he comes out and gets it. Thank you, appreciate it. Well, let's build us a story up on this. We can get famous. We can connect this gun to Buford. I got you. You're right. They have had ever since. Usually, if not connected to a crime, they give the gun back. Mike says, you should have heard this by now. Mike says usually if the gun's not connected to a crime, they give the gun back to you. They haven't give this guy's the gun back. Well, no wonder, Mike, genius. I'm sorry. No wonder, Mike. It's not his gun. It belongs to the Department of Defense. That's a military gun. It belongs to the United States government.
It's stolen.
It's a stolen gun, Mike. Mike says they haven't given it back to him, so it must have some relevance in connection with Pauline's death. That was his theory. Go back and watch. I wish we had the video here where I could point it out, but you've seen it. And this is on tape, so all you got to do is rewind. He never got the gun back because the gun wasn't his. Since not being returned, Mike suspects the gun was used in Pauline's death. Couldn't have been used, Mike. It was at another location. It was locked in the trunk of a car. Couldn't be a safer gun, a M1 rifle out there that we can prove that was not used in that shootout.
Well, it's also contaminated now because he shot around from it and they've handled it.
Oh, this is, if the TBI doesn't charge Mike and then one of these brothers here, if they don't come out and charge them with something, they can give them probation. They can give them community service. They can let them pick up garbage. But guys, if you don't do that, I'm afraid you're probably going to make national news because somebody's got to pick up on this and report this. You can't overlook one crime trying to investigate another. This is a crime. And you need to go to that safe and get those empty casings and get those bullets and put them in a safe place where somebody can't throw them out later on and say they were connected to that rifle at that crime scene. Because I feel, in my opinion, my humble YouTube opinion, don't worry about 40 years of police work. I believe those casings had another
meaning.
Thanks. They asked me, Mike said they asked him what other information I had. I know on one YouTube channel, he said, they asked me what other YouTube channel. And I said,
what other information?
How much do you want? And he laughs. And, yeah, Mike can throw it to you all day long. Mike can blow up an onion sack, guys. Mike says that he got his information from Facebook, that he fished on Facebook. Well, when you're on Facebook, you're going to get rumors and gossip, guys. Rumors and gossip. Guys, this happened in 1967. That's 58 years ago. You can't take statements. Well, Mike says he does. He says some of these people's deceased and he had to talk to their descendants or their children or grandchildren. And get what?
Hearsay.
And get what? Exactly, babe. Rumors, gossip, and hearsay. Exactly. The parents or grandparents are dead that might have known anything about it. He said that was there. Well, guys, there was nobody there except the shooters, Pauline and Buford. Pauline and Buford are dead. We have a feeling 3 of the shooters are dead and the 4th one's in prison. We do. It's what we think.
Yep.
I only know this much of the story, what I saw, heard, and been told. Says that people only know so much of the story. They would call and tell them they only know so much of the story of what they saw. Well, they didn't see nothing. There was nobody on New Hope Road. Or if they was, the TBI officers and the state police that worked the case that day or that week or that month, they never listed them. There was nobody said they saw the shootout. What they heard or been told, that's hearsay. That don't count.
Right.
That's hearsay. 58 years later, hearsay from a grandchild. Mike says that's how he built his code case. That's how this loss prevention officer built his case. Through newspapers. He says many of them's passed on. Listen to the tape, guys, when you get to listen to me here, because I had planned on stopping at each place, but our video tore up.
Sorry, guys.
He says that many's passed on. A lot of hearsay. We can take a man in the ground that was famous for doing a good job, that never been convicted of a crime, and we just destroyed him with a murder charge. No autopsy for Buford. Talks in there about no autopsy for Pauline. Why not? Well, maybe Pauline, we've thought about this. Sheila and I's given this a lot of thought, and we've thought maybe it was just so obvious So obvious that they're in a shootout. They've tried to kill Buford before. They're in such a shootout. This scene is so brutal. There's bullet
Mhm.
holes everywhere. But guys, you really think that Buford had 2 or 3 calibers of guns and he shot the doorpost? You could hit that doorpost that you're that good a shot without getting right up to it.
Place them
You
where you
had
want
time
them.
to really put these bullets where you want them, and you use different calibers. You couldn't just use one gun and say, well, just one guy drove by. You had to make it technical and say, oh, there was 2 vehicles and they had 3 or 4 guns. We got different calibers. Do you really believe that that he could stage a event that big and would? No autopsy on Buford neither. They didn't do an
Mhm.
autopsy on Buford. Again, dig Buford up there. Let's see what happened to Buford. May not be right. That may explain it. May not be right that they just didn't do an autopsy on Pauline because they knew she was in a
Mhm.
shootout. It's not hard to tell. The coroner said her head was blown off.
Right.
Her head was blown off, and Mike's jaw, he looked like he was dead. He's on his way, looked like he wasn't going to make it.
Yeah.
That's what they said. That's how bad he was. But Mike said, as soon as he got to the hospital, give me a phone. Hey, go get all them guns out of my car. Guys, if you believe that, Mike always goes back to the broke nose. Always mentions the broke nose, signs of previous abuse. Yeah, yeah, it probably was. Could have been a frisbee, could have been a softball, could have been a baseball bat, could have been anything. But more than likely, probably, if it is a domestic, it would have been her first husband that she left. She left her first husband and run away from him because he was such an abuser. If they would have said, Pauline had a broke nose, it was broke right in half that night. It was, guys, they said this is a healed. This wasn't something he'd done right then. This wasn't. She went through a divorce. She's already left one guy that was abusive to her. Do you
Mhm.
think she don't know how to leave the second one? If she's done been abused once, does she not know how to leave if she's been abused? We're going to play you a video later on where a barber shop, the barber was giving Buford a haircut that day and said they were going to see the
In-laws.
in-laws. They were going to visit the in-laws, and then they were going to Florida. They were going on vacation. Their suitcases were packed.
Yeah.
Always mentions the broke nose. People stepped forward. He says people stepped forward with information. Well, it was 1967 when this took place 58 years ago. So take 67, add 58 to it, and imagine how old it'd have to be. He said he spoke with somebody, or Buford spoke with somebody. Who? Who, guys? How does he know all these facts? He always knows. He spoke to this. He spoke to a man down there. He spoke to that one. It was probably over there at the. That's what you get. And you guys drinking that Kool-Aid just, boy, I'll tell you what, drink up, children. Drink up. Because he can fill the cup up for you. Go ahead, Punk. Was you want to say something?
No.
You want to kick me, ain't you?
Mhm.
Okay, I agree.
I'll just go ahead and tell you. Yep.
You don't beat around the bush neither, do you, honey? I probably need it, but maybe that's this. I think about not only Buford
Yeah.
and especially Pauline. Guys, I'm gonna tell you something. If my wife was in the ground and they done something like that to me, my wife would be livid if she knew about
Oh,
it.
law.
Can you imagine how Pauline, if they were getting along good and everything's hunky dory and good marriage and everything's running well, and then after this, somebody because they're jealous of Buford Pusser's reputation or movies, they do him like this and start these rumors because people would rather say something bad about you anytime as something good. Especially Mike. Mike would rather say something bad, even though he calls himself Buford Pusser on his Facebook page and posters of Buford everywhere and all this and that. I've never seen nobody so jealous of somebody in my life or want to be like them. It's the most. I wish I was a psychiatrist. Say it real fast. I'd like to see somebody study Mike. Mike would be a good study for somebody. I'm not saying that mean. I don't want to be facetious, but Mike has really got some kind of a hang up with Buford Pusser. I think we could all agree on that. And I won't even say it's something bad, but he's definitely got a disorder His son's probably going to go along. Very well could. And it very well could be the truth. But it could also be to guys that they're famous. They're famous forevermore now. They stole every bit of the glory that Buford Pusser had
Yeah.
and switched it over to their name. Buford took his name, he had all of it. It was all his. His and Moffat's and Jimmy Moffat, whatever his name was, his chief deputy and,
Chief deputy.
and the Plunk or whatever his name was.
Mhm.
They've taken those three guys, all their glory, and they've spread it out between Mr. Davis, Mr. Roush, Mike, Baldwin, all these different people, all these ballistics, all these doctors. I think you've hurt yourself. I think you've shot yourself in the foot. I think people's never, every time you ever charge somebody from now on with a stolen gun or any kind of crime, really,
Yeah.
guys, if you can't treat justice is blind. Treat everybody the same. Nobody's above the law. These two are. These two's committed a crime. They're in possession of a stolen firearm. They're even shooting it and carrying it around, doing different things. Have debate. Why would I want to have a debate?
Yeah,
we discussed that.
Yep.
Don't understand investigation. He wants to debate. We want proof. This is about proof, evidence. It's not about who can lie the best. I'd lose. I'm not a good liar. I tell you straightforward way it is. I pride myself on being. I opine Mike drove Dewana crazy. I opine. Sheila opines that Mike drove. Well, Sheila don't. I do. He drove her crazy. Opine. Opinion. That's that word I didn't know. O'Neill Moffat was born August the 13th, 1943.
Do you want me to pull that up?
In Tennessee. I'm not going to read it all. I'm just going to go down here to this.
Mhm.
Trucking company. Worked for McNairy County Sheriff's Department. I wonder if he's any kin to Jimmy Jerry Moffat. What was that Moffat's name? This ain't the
Jim.
Moffat. This ain't the Moffat that was his deputy, is it?
I thought it was Jim.
Son of Jim and Wilm, late Jim Wilm and Dorothy. So his father was Jim Moffat. You reckon his father is the deputy sheriff of Pusser?
Wow. Yeah.
Could that be?
Sounds like it.
We don't know. Y'all can put it in if you know, put it in the comments for us. It's not relevant, but he served his country honorably in the United States Air Force. Well, guys, I'm sorry about that. I misspoke earlier because I said that it said he had an honorable discharge. It doesn't. It just says he served his country honorably in the United States Air Force.
Oh.
Usually it says received an honorable discharge from the Marines or the Navy or the Air Force. Was honorably discharged. It doesn't say was honorably discharged.
Whoa.
It says he served his country honorably in the United States Air Force. Well, I always put my foot in my mouth in respects to him because he's deceased, but they sure don't have no honor for Buford Pusser, and he's deceased. So I don't think it's honorable, guys. I don't think it's honorable when you steal firearms from the Air Force. I can't see that he served his country honorably. That's not honorably to me. And again, I wouldn't say nothing about a deceased and reading an obituary. If we've got this right, that says that that's the gun that Buford used to shoot Pauline. So, guys, again, when you point these fingers, you've got three fingers and a thumb pointing back at you. When you point them fingers. Same way with Mike. Something to think about there. I won't beat a dead horse, but knew it stolen from the Air Force because Mike says he's known it. Mike's had to know it since 2016 because this man died in 2016.
So he had to know it before that, though, really, technically.
He'd known it before. When was his death, baby? Was born. It don't say when his death was. You can find it. His death was in departed life. Go ahead.
December 16th, 2016.
He died on December the 16th, 2016. So Mike Elam knew, if he's telling the truth, he knew that this gun was stolen for the last 10 years almost. This December will be 10 years. He's known that that gun has been stolen.
Well,
That O'Neill Moffett was in possession of at least one stolen military rifle.
it'll be 9 years because it'd be 26 would be 10 years.
Oh, next December, won't it?
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Thank you, baby. Federal court charges, honorable discharge. It don't say honorable discharge, so I'll knock that off. It says served honorably. He did not serve honorably, if what they say is
Not if
true.
it's stole.
And if especially if there's federal court documents, surely those will be in the 1,000-page report that they've got coming out. Surely that will be in the report. Why were guns not returned to the courts? Where's federal court records? Why does Mike never show even one record? I've never seen a video yet where Mike holds up something and says, here's a record, here's a file. Now, I could have missed it, and I haven't seen all his videos, but I've not seen one yet. He speaks everything in the history as if it's the truth. We say truth, but certify, but verify. It's okay for him to say it's truth, and it's okay to believe him, but verify it. Don't just take people at their word, guys. People lie. People lie to you. I don't know if y'all didn't know that or not, but people do tell fibs. There's his obituary, babe.
Do you want me to add that at the end or anywhere into?
Yeah, let's just add it so they don't have to go look it up. Gives them something to look at. It's an hour and 31 minutes. So, guys, this is probably going to be 2 videos. You probably done seen the first one, and now you're watching the second one. Are we forgetting anything, Pump? You can think of? Is there anything you want to say about anything?
No.
I figured I was going to give you all this time to talk.
No, I'm
and I
good.
ain't shut up, but
I'm good.
okay, guys, I guess that's it. Sheila, I'm going to turn it over to you. Thanks for joining us, guys. We're going to stay on Buford Pusser for a while. Mr. Elam got a little upset at us, and so we were getting off. We done made our last videos.
Yeah.
Here's just another one or 2 more, but we're going to stay with it for a while till we're led to do something else.
There you go.
Because this just don't seem right.
It's not adding up.
To let it go. We would like to ask the TBI to go find Sebastian and Summer.
Please,
We'd like to ask Mr. Davison. He can say it's not in his jurisdiction or not, but I'm sure he carries some weight around Tennessee to go indict. He wants to indict somebody. Go indict caretakers. Go indict ever who's seen those children last. Go indict ever who was in charge of those children. Somebody knows something about what happened to those children.
Somebody knows.
Indict them. Charge them. You're just going to charge Buford. Charge them. They're alive. There's somebody you can charge. And go ahead and get you an indictment on Mike Elam and possession of a stolen gun. It's proven. It's an easy case. You've got to do it. You've got no choice. You've got to charge them.
Yeah.
You can't accuse a man of murdering his wife like you did and then be standing there looking at 2 guys that's been in possession. You can't do it. Not feel right. I don't think your other TBI agents out there. I know there's good ones. I know they are.
Oh, sure.
There's good in everything. There's good and bad in everything. I don't know the other 2 officers up there standing on the stage that day. One of them spoke.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they're. Guys, thanks for joining us. You're up, babe.
All right, guys. We hope you're doing well this evening. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye. God bless. Oh, yes. Please go to Fred McCoy 40. Okay. Bye.
Thank you, babe.